Pittsburgh Steelers fans, Matty P, Shannon White here with another episode of the Steelers Global Perspective. How you doing on this fine Thursday afternoon for you, Friday morning for me, Shannon?
Oh, doing great. It's beautiful weather and bright sunshiny, and we need that when we start talking about the Steelers offense thus far this preseason.
You get straight into it. All right, well let's go there. So there's no beating around the bush here. Straight to the punchline. So look, I think we get on this as we record this in the last 3 or less hours. Justin Fields has gone out and said that he's shown enough to be QB1. I don't want to overreact to that, except for the fact to say, I'm like, is he on something that's a banned substance? Because I disagree.
Well, I think that me and you talked a little last night, and I don't know if we necessarily agree on this situation. I agree there's a lot of concern with the offense right now.
Yeah.
But it's not like it was last year for me. Last year they had Kenny Pickett had a perfect preseason. Yep. I think he had a perfect rating. He scored a touchdown every time that he was on the field, every drive. So, and we said earlier, the chant, it just doesn't matter. So what I'm looking for out of the offense, I wanted to see Arthur Smith's play design. Yeah. I wanted to see his passing concepts, his route design. I've seen different stuff this year. I've seen crossers. Now I'm not saying they're getting open, but I've seen it. I'm not saying that the quarterbacks are seeing them when they do get open, but we are seeing there's places to go with the football. Yeah. It's not all congested and just a lot of stop and start routes, turnaround routes and stuff.
Yeah. There's been some big plays. There's been a lot of big plays.
And my thing is, you say, well, they haven't scored. It's been incredibly, almost record-breaking bad. Well, let's look at why. And we talked a little bit last week. One weak spot that it can be exploited will destroy any drive. Because it's a team game.
Yep.
All right, the week prior, we had 2 bad quarterback center exchanges.
Yep.
That killed drives.
Yep.
And so Nate Herbig's no longer there.
Yep.
And we're not seeing that anymore.
Yep.
So I will blame that on a player.
Correct.
Then this past week, Russell Wilson played 4 drives, was sacked 3 times, and they were pretty much all given up by Broderick Jones, who played one of the worst games. I don't even remember Dan Moore doing any worse than that.
No.
He's playing with one arm. He's playing on the wrong side, especially when you have the right arm injury. It's what they've been doing doesn't make any sense in how they've used him. No. But you have a 35-year-old quarterback in Russell Wilson who missed all of training camp because they asked him to push a blocking sled in a conditioning drill the first day of camp. Now, that is absolutely asinine, but I will digress. I'll leave it there.
In fairness, he might have wanted to do that himself. He's been going pretty hard. I will give them the out. We don't know for certain. We don't know for certain that he was demanding.
I've seen him working out. I know he stays in shape. I just do not understand. They had a chance, and you know what? That you'd have seen Ben Roethlisberger pushing a blocking sled on the first day.
While Ben was tough and strong, I wouldn't necessarily say he was the twitchy Yeah,
I'm just saying he wouldn't have done it. I mean, even when they tried to do certain drills, he took it as a grain of salt, goofed off through the drill like where he was hitting the bags instead of trying to miss them. I mean, he knew who he was. He knew how great he was. But here's Russell Wilson, new quarterback, wanting to try to get in there and impress the coaches and the teammates, and then he hurts himself doing something he should never be doing anyway. So now you've had the whole preseason, the whole training camp in the trope. He didn't get to practice.
Yep.
He comes out after limited practice, including the joint practice against the Bills, and he didn't have 2 seconds to throw the ball. Broderick Jones got blowed up and had a guy right in his lap and on him like that.
Yeah.
And what happened before that? There was a false start penalty. There was a play, running plays that did not work. And it was 3rd and 14 one time, 3rd and 12 or 11 another time, and then 3rd and 9. I mean, this offense will not be successful if they're in a lot of 3rd and long.
Yeah.
Most offenses are not, but this one especially. You can't set up play action on 3rd and 14. So I'm not panicking like everybody else is. It's a concern to me that Broderick Jones is playing that poorly, but then I take into effect his injury and on the wrong side, which is the absolute worst side with the right arm injury.
Yeah. But
on the left side where he should have been all along, he could be. I'm encouraged by Frazier. He looks like he's ready. He's been a huge upgrade. And you say, well, the guys ain't seeing the field good, and that includes Justin Fields. But they're running for their life because they haven't been getting adequate protection. We've had this problem now for a few years, and it affects the quarterback's ability to sit in the pocket and look down the field. When they have had time to sit back there and throw, they've done better.
But I think fair, and I get all of that. I don't dispute really any of that. But and you said this, it doesn't matter. But what we want to see is consistent improvement.
And execution, yes.
I'm not seeing that, right? And offensive line, I get it with the passing game. I get passing game, we've got to give some outs and some caveats. But I actually don't think the run game's been all that impressive either.
No, it hasn't.
And so...
But Samalu didn't even play the week before.
But we know that. But
Daniels played maybe 2 series both times. I mean...
But Daniels looked average when he's been on the field. I don't think, in the first drive...
He looked bad last preseason.
Correct.
I mean, he's the guy that when the regular season starts, he's been their best lineman. I'm not concerned about him.
I dispute that. The first 6 weeks last year, there were quarters where he was terrible. He was terrible in I think it's the second quarter against the Texans. He was awful. Terrible.
I mean, we're looking at, we're talking about the offense. They wasn't receivers. I didn't see great effort. I didn't see guys getting open. But again, they're trying to see what they got with these, receivers 3, 4, 5, and 6. Everybody said they only scored 3 points. Well, they easily could have kicked 2 field goals. But why does it matter in a preseason game? They went for it to try to see the execution, and it didn't work.
But even then they tried to kick that field goal before halftime that they missed with 7 seconds on the clock. And I remember I messaged you. I don't know why they didn't go for it then. I would have gone for it then. That's a good chance to practice. You've got 7 seconds on the clock. You have to make a play. Go out and do it. I don't know why Boz needed. We all know Boz can kick a field goal, and then he missed.
But here's the thing. You also got to look at it. They want to test. They got new holder.
No, I know. I was about to say.
They got new people on special teams. It ain't just Boswell.
No, I know. But they can also
And they had no timeouts. And the way things have been going, they would have caught the ball in bounds and the half would have been over.
I mean, but I just think they're situational football. I just think we could have. Yeah, I don't know. And you know what? And this is the great part is that we can all see different perspectives on what it is. But I'm not sitting here and hitting a panic button. I'm not saying Arthur Smith's crap. I'm not saying they're going to go, 5-12 or anything like that. But I expected more. I did
too. We talked about. We made some predictions. I thought we'd get a tight end touchdown. I thought that both guys would throw one touchdown.
Where was Darnell? Like Darnell had a big play, one big play, and I'm not. This is not on Darnell, and I know the quarterbacks weren't getting them, but like he just. I don't know. I said I talking about this. Mark streamed the game live, and I said this in a comment on his live stream. And I know we talked about a lot about the line, but it just seems to me you watch other teams play, and their quarterbacks aren't always running for their life. And we have had, what is it, 7 quarterbacks or 6 quarterback starts since Ben retired. We have had, it'd be 6 or 7 now. Yeah, 7 including, 6 including out. We've brought in people on the line that have, played elsewhere. Like, you look at Trey Turner. He was crap for the Steelers. He's played okay since he left the Steelers. Not out of this world, but he's played okay. He's played better than what he did with the Steelers, right? Like, I don't understand why every time I'm like 85+% of the time when I watch Steeler football since Ben retired, and even in then Ben, he was still, kind of running for his life toward the end there as well. Why the pocket is just collapsing all the time. And like, we got rid of the that coach that from the Patriots, the offensive line coach that's at Oregon, Oregon State, whatever it is. They got in Pat Meyer, whatever. Like, you can't blame. It's hard to blame specific people on this, but I don't understand how like 30 other teams in the NFL, even 60% of the time, can have a quarterback that can sit in the pocket for like 3 to 4 to 5 seconds, and it doesn't happen in Pittsburgh. I don't know. Like, it's just, to me, it's just getting a little bit frustrating. And I know it's the preseason, I know they're trying things, but if that's happening week 2, I'm going to be really pissed off, and I think it's a way. Like, I don't know.
I'll give you some good news.
Please,
Frazier's going to take care of that. If you notice, there wasn't pressure coming up the middle.
No, I know.
And when you have Frazier, Samalu, and Daniels, and later McCormick, who right now everybody's like, well, they're going to get Mason Cole back since Herbig's out for the year. Well, if you see Cole lately, he's lost like 50 pounds. He ain't playing football anymore.
Yeah.
But at camp, they were having Anderson as a backup center, and McCormick has been taking in practice snaps at center.
That doesn't surprise me. I could see McCormick.
Well, they thought about drafting him as a center.
Yeah.
If they didn't get Frazier.
Yeah.
So we're not seeing pressure up the middle. It's on the outside. Now you still got the extremely limited Dan Moore, and that's not changing. He can't swing. But if you put Rodney Jones on the left side where he belongs, get Fuatanu and put him on that right side and leave him alone. Let him take a lump or two, but he'll be all right. If you watch the end of the second, early third, I thought Cook looked fine at tackle. Cook did a good job. Now after him, it was slim pickings, but we know Anderson can slide and play tackle too.
Yeah.
So I'm not concerned. The main thing is, like I said, these drives have been killed with situational football, as Mike Tomlin says. You cannot give up a sack because it ends drives. You can't get a false start when you're having trouble getting 10 yards. Now you got to get 15 yards. Yeah. They're not playing smart situational football, which I'm not that shocked because there's so many young guys, there's so many new guys, and it's a totally new system.
Yeah, and look, I just
if they do something this week and they execute better, we won't be having this discussion.
And the problem though is if they looked a bit better on 2 of those drives, Russell Wilson wouldn't be playing this week. I honestly did not think they'd play him this week originally. Obviously that was before he got injured in camp and whatever. He needs the snaps.
Yeah, that changed everything. Yeah,
right. Like, but it just it's like you just kind of feel like they're cramming a lot, but not the night before the test. That's
well. And if we're all honest, what we went through under Matt Canada, under the previous 2 years offense, even Ben's last year with Canada, it is now we're jumpy. Now we're reactionary. Now we is our on the Pump Your Brakes last night. It was Armageddon was the title. People, I've heard fire Tomlin. They should have never extended him. Fire Arthur Smith. He's not an upgrade. Russell Wilson's old. He's shot. Justin Fields never could read the defense or see the field. I've heard everything. And we have not seen TJ Watt. We've not seen Cam Hayward. We're not seeing Fitzpatrick.
I know, but
I just think that people and what drives me crazy, Manny, is 3 weeks ago, even 2 weeks ago, it was if they get Brandon a hook, this is a Super Bowl team. I don't know how many people told me that. They're a contender. They're a Super Bowl team if they get Brandon Hook. So you're telling me one?
I mean, not me. I've been sitting here saying, "Don't get Brandon Hook."
I know. I'm talking about what I've been hearing from.
I know.
The Twitter community and our community, a lot of them. I'm like, no. Brandon Hook, you couldn't get Jerry Rice in his prime and automatically make this a Super Bowl team. There's too many unanswered questions.
And we're going to get a comment in this video arguing.
Oh, I mean, but what I'm saying is hyperbole and overreaction is now become a specialty of Steeler Nation. Now, I'm used to delusional Browns fans, delusional Bengals fans. But when did it become delusional Steeler fans? That concerns me.
But in fair, I'll play devil's advocate and I'll argue the point back. That we are itchy. We want success. It has been 7 seasons now without a playoff victory. Like, at what point, and you bring it up a lot, and it's great. Like the time between Bradshaw and Ben. I don't think in this day and age, I think fans are a little bit. I think it's a different kind of. Yes, it's a world that's very much focused on instant gratification, and we can talk about the woes that is that. But like, I think people are sort of going, well, when is it gonna? Like, what is gonna change? When is it gonna change? And like, I'm not sitting there like the Fire Tomlin crew can go kick a rock. Like, I really go do something, find something else more productive to do with your life. But like, all I'm saying is that. People that think they're going to march into Atlanta in week 1 and walk away 20 points up are kidding themselves. And I know what you've said there about Cam Hayward and TJ and all that. The thing that concerns me is I still don't see a team that can score 30 points. And that will remain a concern to me until I see a Steelers team that looks really fluid and might score 25 or 27 points. And just misses out in the 30, but you go look, if there are a couple of plays here or there, they would have easily broken 30. But I don't see a team that can score 30 points in 3+ games in a season.
Well,
unless Minka gets 2 pick sixes, which isn't going to happen.
Last preseason, the Steelers look like they could score 30 anytime.
No, I know that. I know.
But what I'm saying is, now, what's Arthur Smith supposed to do? He's dealing with a young and injured line that he's trying to get people in the right places. He's got new quarterbacks. He's got new receivers. Everything's new. And he don't want to show his hand. He don't want to show stuff in the regular season. And so it's been very vanilla, very basic, because as we know, it's right now they just want him to execute. And that's what Tomlin said before the first preseason game. I just want to see a clean game.
Yeah.
And that means no turnovers. That means limited penalties. Yeah. So what I'm saying is this is something that the fans are panicking, but I'm not seeing the coaching staff panicking. I'm not seeing the players panic. That would concern me more.
But I think, and this is where I'll advocate for some of the fan base here and say, we've heard the "we're not panicking" thing before, and they've scraped through into the postseason by like the thinnest of margins, and that's not.
And they also fired Matt Canada in the middle of the year, which is so out of character for the Steelers.
But we all sat there for 6 weeks while they pretended that they didn't need to do that when they clearly did. So
yeah, I mean, because this franchise was, we know, just like in the Hook situation right now. Khan's like, you got an offer, take it or leave it. If not, they're going to go right into the season. They might try to find somebody else, as we've talked about. But, I mean, they're not giving in on this.
Yeah.
Even though the fans are panicking, losing their mind.
Well, at this point, I'd go trade a 1 and a 2 in another year to go get Penei Sewell or Tristan Wirfs, right? Like F Ayuk. I don't want to give. There's no point getting Ayuk if you're not getting the ball. Go get them.
Yeah, if you don't have the line to protect the quarterback, it don't matter who you got a receiver.
Right, that's my point. Right?
I think Brandon Jones is going to be a really good player. I just think they got to leave him where he needs to be. He needs a natural left tackle. I think that Fuatanu got hurt, and so we didn't get to see. I think by now he'd already be more established. I think he gets to play on Saturday, I think, is what I heard him say. If he does, hopefully he doesn't get re-injured. Yeah. But I fully expect him to be a huge upgrade and get Jones where he needs to be. Frazier's the future, people. I'm just telling you. If you watch him, he's a different animal.
Oh, no, he's fantastic. And I've got no question marks about
it. But it takes a little time.
Yeah. Well, they're leading their runway,
I mean, we talk each week, and it's like it's been, you said 6 weeks earlier, about last year. Brayshaw's first years, guys, he would have never made it. He would have been, who's the joker that the Jets shipped to Denver?
Wilson.
Wilson. Yeah. Bradshaw was worse than that.
Yeah.
He would have been out of the NFL. He probably wouldn't even made it through the first year.
Yeah. And
people want instant gratification. And I understand it's changed. Because in the both days, you had a guy, you had him. Free agency wasn't the same. Windows were bigger, lasted longer. As far as to be
and the passing game, and also there was a better balance between the running game and the passing game, which is what it leads back to where I'm negative, is that I don't find and I know it can't because of the offensive line, but the running game's not even flowing. It just, I don't know. Look, hopefully they play better. Hopefully they score some more points. Hopefully they look better, against, this weekend. But I don't know. I'm usually the Mr. Optimist, but I'm not going to pretend that I'm got some real concerns about what I've seen so far.
I mean, to me, I understand having concerns, but I'm saying have concerns about certain players. We're lumping everything in and including everybody.
Okay. Well, my concern is I don't think that I'm not convinced. I'm hopeful about Wilson. I'm not convinced that. I'm not convinced that the offense is going to be 50% better than it was last year. I can imagine it might be 10% better right now, but I don't think it's going to be. I haven't seen anything that proves to me it's going to be 50% better. I have not seen anything from Fields to really think, his athleticism. I mean, I must have said this a million times in the live chat and in the post show that I did with Mark, but I love when Fields runs with the ball in hand from what I've seen so far, although he has still had a couple of fumbles this preseason. But throwing the football,
the fumbles was the snap.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, but my other point is, at some point, you've got to throw the football. The quarterback has to throw the football. If we're going to play him at like a gadget guy and Swiss Army knife and running back, then you know what? 100, 80 out of 100, 90 out of 100. But as a quarterback, he's made a couple of plays, but I haven't seen enough to go with him to sit there in a press conference and say, I've showed them enough. All right, well, mate, I don't know. And I'm just an Australian on the other side of the world that has never played NFL football, so what does my opinion matter? But I don't know.
In his defense, and he's including practice.
No, I know that.
And we heard Mike Tomlin say we've had some really good days on offensive practice against a really good defense, because the Steelers definitely have a good defense, especially when their starters are out there.
Yes.
We heard Arthur Smith. We've had some really good days. Justin Smith's had some really good days. I mean, Justin Fields. We've heard the wide receivers and different people. It's not cut and dry. They said the source told Jeff and Bad and them that it was 55-45 Wilson would start. So, at one point it was Wilson's the starter, no questions asked. But he missed all of training camp in Latrobe. He's back. He's rusty. The line, again, is going to take a little time to get where they want to get. And it would not shock me if Fields, especially if he plays good Saturday, wouldn't start in the first game.
The problem is, though, that it's very hard to go Fields, to replace Fields with Wilson. It's a lot easier to replace Wilson with Fields.
Well, I agree.
I'm Matty P with Shannon White. As always, go Steelers.